Hey guys, welcome to the Lean to the Left podcast, where we're not afraid to call out Donald Trump for what he's doing to America, what is supposed to be the land of the free. As you guys may recall, my colleague CJ Waldron and I recently published the third edition of Hijacked Nation, Donald Trump's attack on America's greatness, which presents real-time blogs of Trump's actions in his first term and key developments from the 4 years that followed. Today, our guest is Spike Dolomite, author of a very similar book. It's called Trumped Up, Trump's First Term and the Beginning of America's End. It's similar to Hijack Nation, combining blogs that also track his actions and provide deep understanding for what he's doing now and what we might expect in the 3+ years remaining in his administration. Hey, Spike, thanks for joining me on the Lean to the Left podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I want to know what the backstory is behind your book. What prompted you to do it?
I had all these blogs that I made from, it was 4 months after the inauguration.
Yeah,
I decided to go to start blogging. So I had just all this, I had this timeline of everything Trump had done
yeah,
from the inauguration on. And I thought,
yeah,
wow, since everybody's like remaking the news and redefining things on the same day that it happens anymore, and there's people are so confused about what really happened, I thought I have a treasure. I have a real treasure here in what really happened from that day until the day the guy left in
yeah, yeah,
disgrace.
yeah.
So I thought, ooh, I got to put this together. So I took one of my blogs, I combined them, extracted just the juiciest bits. And here I have this wonderful timeline, a great little resource book.
That's excellent. That's exactly what happened with us. Chris Waldron and I were having dinner with our wives one night, and we were talking about the rich information that we have that we had pulled together on all these blogs that we did. And I think it was Chris's wife said, "Why don't you guys put that together in a book?" And the more we talked about it, the more we liked the idea, and so we did. And we had so much, ours turned into 2 volumes. And then this past summer, a publisher called me and said, "Why don't you guys do a third volume and update it?" And so we did. And we got it out really quickly. And that's how we ended up with three editions of our Hijack Nation. And it does. And your book does too. I've read a lot of it. And it's really cool how you can read that book and you feel like you're right there in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's just an incredible thing. And I want to congratulate you, Spike, for the work you did on that.
Oh, thank you. I felt the same way reading your book too, because, and that's what I thought. That's the what we have to offer with this one, our books that
Right.
I think will be different than other books is it's fresh and it's happening as the reader is reading it.
Yeah,
And
that's
we
right.
actually capture disgust too. We
Yeah,
both were able
yeah.
to capture the collective disgust.
So why
Um,
is it that you think that tracking his actions in his first term is relevant to what's going on today?
there's a through line, Russia, number one. And now I think there's just this first there was Russia, and now we've got the authoritarianism. He
Mhm.
experimented his first 4 years, and I don't think he was thinking he was going to get a second shot at it.
Right.
But being his personality, the narcissistic personality that he has, he just kept pushing everywhere he could. And then voila, he gets elected again, and he knows where the boundaries are with all of these things. And he knows now with a team of people that know way more than the people in his first team on how to perfect this are helping him along with this. And they're like blowing things up left and right where
Right.
they weren't able to blow things up like they did, like they're doing now. And I
Yeah.
think it's because they had good practice the first run.
Do you feel like your book provides context as to what is happening now with Trump running roughshod over our country?
Oh yeah, I have in June 2020 is when the Black Lives Matters protests were. And I write about that in real time after
Yeah.
the whole George Floyd uproar.
Uh-huh.
And so the similarities, remember when he had the secret police, he had them in Portland and he had them outside of the White House.
Yeah.
These people that did not have, that were not identifiable, when asked, who are you and where are you from, they didn't answer. So they got dubbed the Bill Barr secret police. But now look what we've got with ICE, and they're getting away with it. They can't be identified.
Oh, it's amazing
And
that they go around with masks on when they arrest people. That's, I hate to say it, but it's like Nazi Germany. Is
yeah,
maybe
it
even worse.
is.
Yeah.
It is. It's happening. It's really happening. And I remember being horrified with it in Trump 1.0, but now now I understand things in a way that I didn't before. So I'm much more scared.
How do you mean you understand things in a way that you didn't before?
Because I understand, I went and I read up on history.
Okay.
And I read up on World War II, and wow, history is repeating itself, even back to the very beginning of the country. When our founders, the ones that lived to be really old, they got to see everything that they did totally taken for granted by this new generation. People that were being born 1 and 2 generations after them didn't know who these guys were.
Yeah.
So they had to see, wow, everything that they fought for, they saw a lot of it get pissed away just in 1 and 2 generations. And so I've lived long enough, and you've lived long enough. We know in America that my kids, they know nothing of that America. And it's just the saddest thing to me that everybody's got a different point of reference when it comes to being an American.
Yeah, and the way the Trump administration and the MAGA people are going, they're trying to rewrite our history to suit them.
Yeah. And that's what they did in Nazi Germany. And they
Right.
burned books, they burned museums, they killed scientists and journalists and teachers and artists, and
Yeah.
did everything they could to shut people up.
Yeah.
And they were pretty successful. So that's why I'm scared.
That just leads me into this one. What do you think of his actions so far? Immigration. Let's talk about that. What do you think about how he's handling that? And we talked a little bit about the masked ICE police, but here we had this situation in Los Angeles where they went to Dodger Stadium and I don't know what the hell they were doing at Dodger Stadium, but the Dodgers said, "Go away. You can't come here.
Yeah.
Go
I live in
Dodgers."
I live in Los Angeles, so I'm particularly proud of that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You do live in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
So
I live in LA, so I
all
really know
right, so
what's going
tell
on.
me.
Yeah.
Now, I had a guest on the other day who said that the area where all of this drama is taking place is just a little tiny area in the context of the whole city.
Exactly.
And then
Yes.
most people
LA is
who,
really huge,
yeah,
and
and then
downtown is big.
most people who live there wouldn't even know it was happening unless it was on the news, right?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he's turned this into it's the big here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. If we listen to Trump news, we'd think that the whole city was up in flames.
Right.
Yeah.
I was watching TikTok, and I wish I could credit the guy. I saved it so I can credit him later. But he's a journalist, and he was talking about Trump's worldview, in that he has never been a normal guy. He's never ever seen the world like the rest of us. He's never walked a dog down the street and engaged in conversation with people. He's never chatted with people at a coffee shop. He's never done things like that. So the only way he's ever seen the world is through television,
Yeah.
and particularly cable news TV. And decades of this. This is inputted. This is how he sees the world. So he believes stuff that we have just seen as just fantastic. He believes a lot of this stuff because it happened on television.
Yeah, that's right.
It's crazy.
It is. It is. All right. So, what do you think about his big, beautiful bill that screws everybody but the rich?
I'm relaxed about it because if I get too down in the weeds about it, I'll get so worked up. And I
Right,
think
right.
I'll get worked up and it won't be necessary because I don't think it's going anywhere. So why get totally tweaked? Do you think it's going anywhere?
No, not now. I was afraid before, but I really do think that it'll be torn apart before they finally pass it. It'll be torn apart, and a lot of the most egregious things will probably be taken out. I hope. I hope.
Yeah. I
But
don't
it's
even know
very
that I have
scary.
faith.
Look at what these guys will do. They're trying to take people off of Medicaid. People on Medicaid are people who really need help.
Yes.
They're poor
Yes.
people. They need their
Yes.
health care.
The poorest of the
The
poor.
poorest of the poor. And what are they doing? They're screwing them in order to save money so they can give this big tax break to all these rich people in the corporations.
Yeah. And they too have no concept or any care, no care
No
about
care.
how
And then the other things,
99% of the rest
Spike,
of us live.
Spike, how many of these people on Medicaid voted for Trump?
Yeah. Yeah.
Figure that one
And,
out. I
and
don't
now have you,
understand. Huh?
it's hard to have pity for them, but now it's just getting so, so bad that it's,
Oh, I know. I know. And then how about this? He's burning FEMA right at the
yeah,
time that the hurricane season's starting.
yeah.
And you guys out in California, you have all these fires that come
Fires
up
and
at certain
earthquakes.
times of the year. And here on the beach in South Carolina, where I live, we have probably 4 or 5 hurricanes every year.
Yeah.
And I've been here 9 years now in August, and probably have at least 2 hurricanes every year. None of them been real serious where I live personally, but not far from me, people have lost their homes.
Yeah.
They've lost everything from these
That's true.
hurricanes. And he's taking away. And this is a Republican state. And yet he's killing FEMA, and it doesn't
And
make
his FEMA director didn't know there was a hurricane season. Am I correct about that? He never heard of a hurricane season.
maybe, I don't
Isn't
know,
that
maybe he
figure?
lives under a rock somewhere. I don't know. Oh man.
Uh,
All right. Did you really think it would get this bad this quick?
yeah,
Did you?
yeah, yeah, I did. But I did not think he'd win. How about that?
You didn't think he'd
So
win?
I didn't even held it in my mind that it could happen.
Uh-huh.
And then when it happened, I went, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
I had in the back of my mind all during the election that he was going to pull it out. And then,
Wow.
and
Wow.
then the coup de grace was when somebody took a shot at him in Butler, Pennsylvania, which, by the way, is my hometown. Took a shot at him in Butler, Pennsylvania, and he managed to get a little blood on his ear, or I don't know if it was blood or ketchup. I think it was ketchup. But he had the presence of mind. I don't know if this was put up job or what, but he had the presence of mind to raise his fist, go fight. Had those
Yeah.
Secret Service around him, made that great photograph, and I said
Yeah.
I said to my wife, "That's the election.
Yeah.
He's going to win."
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the Secret Service let him do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you
And
know that he has a statue, that he made a statue? He had a statue made of that, and it's in the Oval Office of him
no,
doing this
no,
because,
you're
yeah,
kidding me. I didn't know
yeah.
that. Oh, he's going to want his own bobblehead next.
Oh my God. And then he'll sell it for $500 a pop.
Oh, yeah, he will. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll
And
have.
they'll worship it.
Oh, yeah, he'll probably have a combo deal. For $500, you get the statue. For $750, you get the statue plus a pair of sneakers, and just add on a bunch of other stuff that he's grifted us about.
Everything that he's got in stock that he hasn't been able to get rid of, he'll tack that on as the incentive buys.
All right, so he promised to end the war in Ukraine. But it's
Yeah,
only gotten worse with
right.
Putin becoming even more emboldened.
Uh-huh, of course.
Okay, and now he's making
Of
noise
course.
about bombing Iran. And
Yeah, that's a little scary.
I just wanted to
I,
ask you what you think about his tariffs and all the stuff that he's doing with that and how it's going to affect the economy.
I'm not at all surprised that it's gone the way it's gone, and I'm not surprised that he's created other throwing out other bombs here and there to deflect
Right,
from that. But yeah, there's it's everything else that's happening right now dwarfs the whole tariff thing now because these other things have gotten so big.
yeah, right.
But I can see the impact in LA already, that with ICE and just the immediate impact with low income families and how people aren't able
Right.
to make a living, not just find a job or make a crummy living, make any living. I see it. So I being a border city, I guess we see these things. And you know what? I'm dreading it, frankly. I'm really dreading the wave that's coming. And I haven't been thinking too much about it because I've been so preoccupied with wars and wondering about other things. Isn't that funny how it all works with him
Yeah, it
and
is.
how
But you know what?
he
That's
changes
what
the news?
happens. He throws all these things out there
Yep.
to distract. But I am very concerned about these tariffs because just think, if you buy a car for, I don't know, let's say 40 grand, you buy a car, a new car. And I did this not long ago. I bought an EV, a Ford Mustang electric vehicle. It's beautiful. And I was able to buy it because of the $7,000 credit that the
Oh,
federal government provided for people who bought electric vehicles. Now, he's taken that away, and that $47,000 car, which I paid 40 for, is now 47. But then on top of that are the tariffs that are added because that car was not totally produced in the United States.
yeah.
A lot of the parts were made in Mexico, and I don't know where, probably, I don't know where else. But I was not able to. Matter of fact, when I bought that car, I wasn't able to get it, get the 7 grand on a purchase, but I was able to get it through a lease because because Ford did that for customers, which I thought was a really class act. I told them I can't buy this car if you don't do this, and so they did. But the bottom line is he's taken that away, and those cars are now for what, 20% tariff on
Right.
those cars. So add that onto the 47 grand and you're up to over 50 plus thousand.
Do you think
And
people will pay it?
no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't think people
I
can.
think it's a self-defeating thing.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna buy it.
But I'll tell you what pisses me off more than anything is these companies that refuse to put on their pricing, tell people on their in their pricing that this comes from the tariffs. They should do.
Are people just too afraid to do that because you said don't do it?
Yeah.
Or is it a law or a rule or what? I know Amazon isn't that I know that was a thing with Amazon, but it would be
A lot of the look at, and then the DEI thing too, which goes hand in hand with it. These companies like Target, I thought they were a good company. And then when he said no more DEI, that's all
yeah.
bullshit. And so all these companies all of a sudden start getting rid of all their programs aimed at diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah. I was shocked by that.
I was
Was I
too.
being too romantic? I don't I really didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
Because to me, DEI is something that's always been an elective. It's always been something that a company or an institution does because it reflects who they are,
Yeah.
the values
Exactly.
of their company. But it was never
Exactly.
enforced. It's never been something that people do because they felt they
But
had to. That's what I have always thought.
why do these companies bend to Trump over this?
I don't
That's
get
I
it.
don't understand that. They
Yeah, I
are
don't get it.
they are good, strong companies. They don't need to bend to Trump over that. What are they afraid of?
If they're afraid of losing sales, that's what they're getting.
I guess that's it. Maybe that's probably it.
Boycotting them.
Yeah.
I was really bummed about Target. And
Too.
I
Yeah.
always liked Target. It's not a perfect corporation because there
Correct.
is no such thing, but
Right.
as far as corporations go, it's okay. I can shop there and not be a terrible person.
He campaigned on the economy, and besides immigration, the other big thing was the economy, blaming Biden for inflation. And now he's doing all these things are just going to increase inflation, make things more
Right.
costly for people, including the very people that voted for him and put him in office.
Do you think they'll forgive him and keep making excuses for him like they do everything?
They're doing it now. I see it
That's
on
things
social
become,
media all the time.
but things are going to be harder to afford.
Yeah,
This
I
is
know.
just going to get worse.
It is. And so anyway, these people who are concerned about these kind of things, they should read our books because
Yep.
it lays out the mindset in from one step to the next, all the way through that administration, and in my case, the succeeding administration, the key developments
Yeah,
of
that
that
was great. You did
administration.
part
And
two.
yeah, but people need to check out our books for that reason.
Yeah.
We talked about the ICE raids in LA, but what did you think about him mobilizing the National Guard and the Marines to come
Oh,
into LA? And
horrified. Was horrified. And we don't want them here. The mayor doesn't want them here. The
right,
governor doesn't want them here.
right.
People don't want them here. They're not being menacing or anything, but it's not good for.
Yeah. I did an interview the other day with a former Navy submarine master chief who is running for office here in South Carolina. He's a Democrat. And he was talking about this, and he said Marines are not trained to stand outside of a milkshake shop and say, please, people, don't throw those bottles at me. That's not nice.
Uh-huh.
They're trained to kill. That's what they do.
Yeah.
He said they're trained to kill and blow stuff up.
Yeah.
And,
That's exactly right.
and he said, we're one 18-year-old Marine from being hit with a bottle
Oh God.
from machine guns opening up, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just it's a horrible thing. And I don't understand why people are not upset about it, or the Trumpers
Oh,
are not upset about it.
oh, the Trumpers. Yeah.
Yeah.
My folks, my clan, we're plenty upset about it.
Yeah.
And I live in a very blue, big, giant blue bubble.
Yeah. You live in a giant blue bubble, and I live in a giant red bubble.
Oh, I'd
like to trade places with you, actually.
it's nice. You know what? You just get to it's a live and let live.
Oh man, I'm telling you what, I get in these arguments all the time on social media with these people, and actually, my nephew is a Trumper, and
Oh no.
yeah, and so is my brother. But my nephew engages with me on social media all the time.
Oh,
He lives in Seattle, Washington. And so today he put on there, he said, I'm going to get out of this conversation because I can't, it's making me too upset. And I said, well, that's a good thing because all you do is repeat Trump's talking points anyway. And that's basically true. That's all they know, these MAGA people.
yeah. Yeah. I've always said, you know what? If they were forced to have to take the citizenship test that immigrants have to take in order to become
Exactly.
a citizen,
Exactly.
they couldn't pass.
They couldn't do it.
I wouldn't even think they could get 3 questions.
Yeah.
But because of who they listen to on TV and in the airwaves and all that stuff,
Yeah.
they think they're geniuses and they're well informed. They really think they are.
I know they do. I know they do.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that's back to our books. You got to buy our books.
That's right.
This is what
Now,
really,
I want to know,
really happened.
I'm going to ask you this one. What do you think future generations will glean from your book?
I'm proud of my book because it is kind of like a resource book. College kids couldn't afford it, but it would be like a good book to just sit down with. And I use humor where it's appropriate. So it makes it, and so it just makes it easier to read
Right.
a lot of this stuff.
What do you mean
So,
that college kids couldn't afford it? You don't have the price point up that high, do you?
no, I was thinking, oh, I could market this to college bookstores,
Sure.
and that would be a great like little side thing to be reading whenever you're buying your poli-sci book or whatever. I thought, if you're a college kid, you're not going to be buying extra books, whatever. It was just trying to think. But that's what I imagine also too, my audience are three different groups. The first group are people like us who just need a refresher or want a refresher, or they just want to torture themselves
Right.
and reread this stuff because they know what happened. And then there's a big group that has always been proud of the fact that they are not into politics. And people regret that now. A big chunk of them regret that now. And I think, and with your book too, or your books, it would be a great way to start, like a good starter book. This, and then everything else that you read, you can trust that what you read here first is going to be like a good starting point, because there's so much other stuff that's going to be written. It has been written.
Right.
And a lot of it's BS already.
Exactly.
A lot of it's already this right-wing stuff. It's really creepy, but it's out there.
Spike, where can people find your book?
For now, it's right. You get it on Amazon.
Okay.
And just search for my name. And then I've got a website, www.spikedolomite.com, SPIKEDOLOMITE.com.
Okay, that's great. And folks, I'll tell you what, you're not going to have to search, because I am going to put in the description for this episode a direct link to Spike's book and also a direct link to my books. So if you guys want to have a nice package of those books, it'd be easy to get. All you got to do is just click on those links.
Great.
Yeah. So Spike, you got anything else you want to talk about?
I'm exhausted.
Me too.
I'm just exhausted. I think too much. I listen too much. Yeah. Thankfully, I laugh a lot, and I listen to a lot of really good music, and I have a couple of dogs that I really love, and my family.
That's good.
So I'm staying balanced. How about you? Are you keeping balance?
Oh, absolutely. I have a beautiful wife who's sitting right here with me, Jackie, and my dog Boomer. He's there. I just said his name and his head came up. He's sitting on the rug behind me back here. Yeah, he's a mix, yellow lab mix of some sort. Most gentle dog, just a wonderful. I just love him. He's great.
Yeah, dogs are great.
Yeah, so
they really are.
Yeah. All right. I hope these people didn't think this is a dog of an episode. Okay, Spike.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
All right. Good talking to you. Hey, guys. I'm Bob Gatty, founder and host of Lean to the Left. I'm excited to share our new book, Hijacked Nation, Donald Trump's Attack on America's Greatness, co-authored with political analyst and professor C.J. Waldron. In Hijacked Nation, we delve into the unfolding story of America's political landscape through a series of essays from leantotheleft.net. We explore how Donald Trump's presidency has transformed American politics, challenging our values and institutions. Hijacked Nation isn't just a book, it's a call to action. It invites you to reflect on what it means to be American in a divided political landscape. Together we can reclaim our nation's greatness. So get your copy of Hijacked Nation today. Visit leantotheleft.net and click on the Books tab to learn more and to order.